Good day, everyone. I am Nico Irizal, and our topic is all about Chapter 4 Social, Political, Economic, and Cultural Issues in Philippine History. So, before we are going to discuss all of this, let me share with you on board the learning objectives of this chapter 4. So, let's read. So, learning objectives. So, let's read. You can look at below the slides. First, analyze social, political, economic, and cultural issues in the Philippines using the lens of history. Second, to recognize that the problems of today are consequences of decisions and events that happened in the past. And second to the last is to understand several enduring issues in Philippine society through history. And lastly, to propose recommendations or solution to present-day problem based on the understanding of the past and anticipation on the future through the study of history. So that is the learning objectives of this chapter. So, so what we'll discuss? We will be discussing the evolution of the Philippine Constitution. So, we will be knowing if there's an evolution of the Philippine Constitution. Second is 1897 Constitution of Biak na Bato. Third, primary source preamble of the Biak na Bato Constitution. And lastly, Malolos 1899 Malolos Constitution. So now let's start with the evolution of the Philippine Constitution. So what is the Constitution? So let's read. The Constitution is defined as a set of fundamental principles or established precedents according to which a state or other organization is governed. So that is the definition of constitutions. Those the word itself, the Constitution means to be part of a whole, the coming together of distinct entities into one group. Nga naay the same principles, nga pareha nga principles o ideas, and ang kani nga principles nag-define ni siya sa nature and extent of government or which are other organization is governed. So, in short, ang Constitution, mura na siya og rule book of the state or organization. It is a body of fundamental principle or established precedents according to which a state or other organization is acknowledged to be governed. So next slide, let's read the Constitution of the Philippines. The supreme law of the Republic of the Philippines has been in effect since 1987. So yes, the Philippines has undergone several constitution changes throughout its history. There were only three other constitutions that have effectively governed the country, which is the Philippines. So, first, the 1935 Commonwealth Constitution. So, this constitution was implemented during Commonwealth period of the Philippines, a transitional period before full independence from the United States. It established the framework for the government leading up to independence. And second, the 1973 Constitution. So this constitution was enacted under President Ferdinand Marcos regime. It shifted the government towards a more authoritarian structure, marking a significant departure from the previous constitution. And lastly, the 1986 Freedom Constitution. This served as a transitional constitution after the People Power Revolution that ousted Marcos. It paved the way for drafting and adoption of the current constitution. So kani sila nga constitution, no, this different constitution kani silang tulo reflect the political changes and struggle for the democracy that the Philippines has experienced throughout its history. However, there were earlier constitutions attempted by Filipino in the struggle to break free from the colonial yoke. So next, what is the Constitution of the Philippines? So let's read. The Constitution 1987 is the fundamental law of the land and the Philippines. It established the structure, policies, rules, and duties of the Philippines government. So kaning nga constitution no, kaning Constitution of the Philippines, kaano siya, it contains the Bill of Rights because it set out the state obligation para i-promote o i-uphold ang social justice and human rights. It is a set of fundamental law and principle that outline how a country or state is governed. So next topic is 1897 Constitution of Biak na Bato. So let's read 1897 Constitution of Biak na Bato. The Constitution of Biak na Bato was the provisionary constitution of the Philippine Republic during the Philippine Revolution and was promulgated by the Philippine Revolutionary Government on 1 November 1897. The Constitution borrowed from Cuba was written by Isabelo Artaco and Felix Ferrer in Spanish and later on translated into Tagalog. So take note no nga kani nga Constitution of 1897 Constitution of Biak na Bato was provisionary or in short dili pa siya final or not fully agreed upon or pansamantala lang siya or temporary in the sense of it is only valid for a while. So kani nga constitution is kuan gyud siya, never siya na fully implemented. The Biak na Bato Constitution was written by Felix Ferrer and Isabelo Artaco, and it was based on the Cuban Constitution. It also outlined the basic human rights such as freedom of religion, freedom of the press, and the right to education. So these are the organs of the government under the 1897 Constitution of Biak na Bato. First, the Supreme Council, which was vested with the power of the Republic, headed by the President and 4 department secretaries, the Interior, Foreign Affairs, Treasury, and lastly, the War. So, before anything else, ato sang i-define what is Republic. So, the Republic is a form of the government in which the people elect or choose their leaders. So therefore, ang Supreme Council is a highest council, pinakataas na ni siya nga council. So therefore, ang Supreme Council, this council is usually composed of influential individuals or leaders who make important decision for the Republic as a whole. It was headed by the President and 4 departments. So Emilio Aguinaldo is the president during the revolution or during the constitution of Biak na Bato. And Mariano Trias is the vice president. And Antonio Montenegro is the secretary of foreign affairs. And Emilio Riguero de Dios, secretary of war. And Isabelo Artaco is the secretary of the interior. And lastly, Baldomero Aguinaldo is the Secretary of the Treasury. So these are the 4 department. Kani sila, muna sila ang mga 4 department during the time. And also, the president during the revolution is Emilio Aguinaldo. So second is the Consejo Supremo de Gracia y Justicia, or in English, Supreme Council of Grace and Justice, which was giving the authority to make decision and affirm or disprove the sentence rendered by other courts and to dictate rules for the administration of justice. So, ang giingon diri nga naa siya authority to make decision. So, of course, the Supreme Council had the authority to make a decision on legal matters. And this involves sa pag-review sa mga cases and pag-interpret sa laws and rendering judgment or making an evaluation. And the third one, which is the last one, is the Asamblea de Representantes, or in English, Assembly of Representatives, which was to be convened after the revolution to create a new constitution and to elect a new council of government and representative of the people. So ang giingon diri nga create a new constitution or maghimo og bag-o nga constitution. And mo ni si Assembly of Representative, this is one of the tasks of the Assembly of Representative, and outlining the structure of government, the rights of the citizen, and distribution of powers among government institutions. So next, let's read. The Constitution of Biak na Bato was never fully implemented since a truce, the Pact of Biak na Bato, was signed between the Spanish and the Philippine Revolutionary Army. So the Biak na Bato Constitution was never fully implemented, or never did siya na-implement. As I said earlier, wala did siya na-implement due to the signing of the Pact of Biak na Bato, the truce between the Spanish authority and the Philippine Revolutionary Army. Ang Republika ng Biak na Bato ay tumagal lamang ng mahigit isang buwan or more than 1 month. Ito ay tinanggal dahil kanang sa kasunduan ng pangkapayapaan sa nanilagdaan bitaw ni Emilio Aguinaldo and between Spanish, na sila'y kasunduan, na sila'y nagkaroon sila ng agreement. So that's all. Thank you for listening. That's all for my topic today. Let's proceed to another reporter.